Hello, this is Ivar Kristoffersson, and this is the second part of the quantum astrology presentation from me. I will be helped by Linda, and I thank you for listening to this and for the chance to introduce quantum astrology for a larger forum. I live in Sweden, and I'm a teacher in mathematics and physics. I've been interested in astrology since the 80s, and I'm also with Kai Pacha in the New Paradigm community. And this is my presentation of quantum astrology through my filter. And of course, you need to have your view, and you will. I did last time 1 hour, so of course I recommend you to check that one up. And now I will give a very short summary, and then I will go on with today's presentation. And for me, quantum astrology is a mix of evolutionary astrology and quantum physics. And it's an expansion. And the expansion is to make it cosmic. We see the cosmic origin that's now symbolized by South Node in Aquarius, the quantum room, and we make it also several dimensions. We now live in this third dimension on Earth, a three-dimension reality, but as you know, there are many more dimensions, up to 12, and now we are building the 13th dimension, the mind, heart, love connection. And this time on Earth is a very important time for the whole of our universe. Quantum physics sees everything as a quantum field. That's the source, that's Pisces. And in this field, we have energy, an energy that's love. And one very big important truths that's Sagittarius, quantum knowledge. One very big truth is that everything is energy, and then with that I mean everything. Materia, darkness, thoughts, emotions, other universes, other dimensions, everything is energy. And there are no negative energy in physics, in quantum physics. No negative energy. The negative part resides here on Earth and in some other parts also. And that's a perception. That's what we feel and make up as negative. And for me, many of in my experience in this life, that seemingly has been negative has turned out to be the goal, the learning, the more self-knowledge, the more transforming from Gemini, connecting heaven with earth in me so that I can see myself. One of the hardest things for us is to see ourselves. And for me, astrology and quantum astrology has really turned on since I found it from Mary Matu. She started quantum astrology in December, the winter solstice last year, and I found it in February. And I've been, as I mentioned, interested in astrology 30 years back. But it's really got me when I got this connection between physics and astrology. And more I live with it. It's a daily part of the knowledge to see myself, to guide myself, to release and to feel and to love through me and astrology. And perhaps, Linda, you can turn up the first slide. I will have a part at the end when you can ask questions, of course. So here we have the part 2, and I'm glad also that there will be a part 3 and a part 4 also in November and in March, April next year. The quantum physics, its spiritual interpretations, I recommend you can check Bruce Lipton and his quantum biology. Has very good presentations on YouTube, and also, of course, Greg Braden, Joe Dispenza, and others. If you are interested in learning more about that. Can we have this, what was it I said as the first? Next slide, Linda. Yeah, here we have my natal chart and my progressed chart. And as I see this for me mainly as self-knowledge. And it's impressing me every day how much, how deep, how many levels it's in this. And to start, I'm a Gemini, Sun and Moon, and then you see this big Cancer there in the 10th house, Gemini 9th house, the knowledge, and the Cancer. That's my sensitivity, and in my progressed, you see, I still have 4, South Node, Jupiter, Mercury, and Uranus in Cancer, and then the Leo is now my progressed Sun, and then come this, we will see with the transits. My progressed Pluto, 24 degrees of Leo, where the North Node is today. And then at the fixed star Regulus, my 10th house cup, the MC, and Isis and Osiris. I talked about Isis and Osiris. That's the Egypt old gods, but I believe they came from the fall of Atlantis around 12,000 years ago. And they came to Egypt together with Thoth, Mercury. Mercury is there now today. And they created the pyramids, the Sphinx, to show us the way to the life here on Earth and with the stars. And as you perhaps know, Isis is the queen of Egypt and is the divine feminine, and her husband Osiris was killed by his brother and 72 helpers, and he became and Isis put his pieces together, found them, put them together, and they made love and got a son, Horus, and then he became the king of the underworld. And it has been, for me, many personal things in my life that has led me to really investigate Isis and Osiris. There are many other asteroids that's interesting, but I believe very much in the old old ancient knowledge. And what I recommend that has given me so much is to listen or read taught emerald tablets. And I think many of you have done it. And also the Hermetic teachings, also given by Thoth. And Thoth is Mercury, is Hermes. And he is the founder of astrology. And the Emerald Tablets is written around 35,000 years ago in the period of Atlantis. And Atlantis started some 200,000 years ago and then went down to some 12,000 years ago here. And yeah, I can expand on a little more later, but first, quantum astrology, quantum physics. We have this different dimensions, the expansion to the cosmic, and that is the star seed activations given by the fixed stars. And as you perhaps know now, the royal fixed star Regulus is at 0 degrees of Virgo, has been in Leo for many, many, many years. And it's the royal watcher of the north, it's the archangel Raphael, the healing. And it's also the starseed origins for dragons, nymphs, elves, and fantasy, so-called fantasy worlds. This was the place in conjunction with the great American total solar eclipse, the 21st of August. And it's no coincidence at all. And that American solar eclipse, I heard from a Peruvian shaman that it started where Lemuria were. Lemuria was very ancient before Atlantis, and the land was in the north of Pacific Ocean, and then the solar eclipse went over Oregon, the Sacred Mountains, down to Midwest, going down to Carolina, etc., into the Atlantic Ocean, and ended where the Atlantis center was, near Cape Verde, Canary Islands. So it started in Lemuria, ended at Atlantis. So this is a closure, also a healing of a dark period on the earth. It has been 6,000, 8,000 years of patriarchy, and it has been a tough time for sensitive beings. You can see my cancer there. I can tell you it wasn't easy. This life has been very, very much of everything for me. And now I have my moon in Virgo, my progressed moon together with Venus, and that's really great, giving me more perspective, healing, and emotional detachment. When you have that much cancer that I had, it's very hard to reach that detachment. You can drown in all those emotions, which I have done many times. But now I can see it as a progress, and the evolution is the soul evolution, as evolutionary astrology tells. It's the story of the soul is told by Pluto. Mine is in Leo, and the collective transit today is in Capricorn, 17 degrees of Capricorn. So I also had a great awakening this spring from my star origins. I have so many connection with fixed stars. And the fixed stars is called so because they move, they are mainly fixed in the start, but they move very slowly, 1 degree per 72 years. And this is due to the Earth precession. And this 72 is also multiplied with 360. One circle will give the precession time on 25,920 years. And if you divide that by 12, you get the ages of the signs. We're now going from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius, and that will be 2,160 years. And why I mention this is because all these numbers I mentioned now, if you sum the digits, you will get 9, the spirit number in numerology. And in astrology, we have that in 360. 3 plus 6, that's 9. And add 0, it's 9. We have it in 180, the opposition, 1 plus 8. We have it in 90, the square. And this gives a very strong harmonic resonance. I spoke about energy, that everything is energy. And energy has vibration, it's frequencies. And as an example, I can take the Earth frequency. It's called the Schumann resonance. And it has been for many hundred years 7.8 hertz. And that's 7.8 oscillations or vibrations per second. But now, the last 5 years, it has risen. So it's in average now around 16.5 hertz, more than double as high. And that's giving us a much more lighter world because we are vibrational beings. And this giving us much more easier for us that comes from other star systems, because this dense world has been really so hard to live in. And now we together makes this rise of energy, of vibration, leaving the dark, transmuting to the light, raising the frequency. And you can measure, and the Earth as an organ is also doing that, as you know. So that's very, very good news. And it's really felt for me. And I recommend meditation, of course, to silence your mind. And I will come back to the mind. It's beautiful, but can be tricky. We see here, we have this, for example, I am Elohim from Aldebaran. My sun is exactly at the royal fixed star Aldebaran, and there are 4 royal stars. It's Aldebaran in Gemini, that's the Archangel Michael, and it's Antares directly opposite in Sagittarius, that's the Archangel Uriel, and then it's Raphael and Regulus, and then it's the royal fixed star Fomalhaut in early Pisces with Gabriel. So these 4 royal fixed stars are very important, and if you do research in your own, don't use more than 1 or at maximum 2 degrees orbs. You can use 2 for nodes and the luminaries, sun and moon, and then 1 degree for the rest of your planets. And of course, no connection with your asteroids, etc. It's only planets and sun, moon that give the starseed connections. But I, and what I know most, also only count conjunctions, blending energy, and oppositions, 180 degrees. And I have the moon at Pleiades at Alcor, the biggest star in the well-known seven sister star system Pleiades in the beginning of Gemini. It's in the end of Taurus. And I heard also that the Pleiadian have gone through this ascension period earlier, and I feel that I have, and many with me that comes from that origin, has a knowledge here to bring to the earth in this process that is ongoing right now. And then many that are starseeds also have been everywhere. I do starseed readings. That's a great way to get help to start to see yourself. And all my starseeds reading has been wonderful, but so much work, because people like me and others, they have been around this galaxy and even Andromeda galaxy so much. It's a lot of work to interpret that. So, if we can take the next slide, Linda. Now we're coming into my progress is the inner wheel, and the outer wheel is today's transits. To see some of the connections, and by that showing more about quantum astrology. And we can see then, of course, what I spoke about, this around Regulus here. A little hard on this, I will have another picture image later, but Mercury is since some hours retrograde, it's retrograde since some 7 days or something, but it's since hours gone into Leo again. It went up to 11 degrees of Virgo and then retrograde, and now it's in 29 degrees, 50 minutes or something of Leo, directly on Regulus. And Mercury, that's the thought consciousness. That's the quantum communication, that's the alchemy, that's the ruler of Virgo. Virgo, that's the quantum healing, bringing down the spirit, the quantum spirit of Pisces on Earth. So Mercury is, of course, very important. It's also an androgen energy. And it's the rule also, of course, of Gemini, the transmuting, transforming alchemy sign. Then we have Sun at 8 degrees, 9 degrees here in Virgo. We have Mars and North Node in late Leo. We have Venus in early Leo. So we have a lot of Leo again. Went from this great American solar eclipse was a fantastic event. It felt so strong. It was the strongest meditation I ever have done with the unity together with other. And it's also, in my interpretation, this is my filter now, but in my interpretation, it's the closure of the old and start of the new. So we are in a new paradigm after this. And the energy was so strong, it will be felt several years forward. And then we got into Virgo. But now we are back to Leo, more Leo energy for a while here. Transit also, we have Jupiter there in 20, I think it's 23 degrees, isn't it? Of, check, now 22 degrees soon of Libra. And that's the quantum relationships. And Jupiter, the expansion planet, is also at the fixed star Spica and Arcturus. We have Saturnus, 21 degrees of Sagittarius, and it has been there forever, several months. It feels like that Saturn has been there. Black Moon Lilith, it's there also. And the moon is in early Capricorn, according to me, but I can't see it in this, but I think it's in early Capricorn now. And Pluto, of course, there in the mid Capricorn. What I wanted to show here is this Osiris and Isis that I spoke about. They are, for me, in my progress now, exactly around, Osiris is exactly on Regulus, Isis in the early Virgo. And if we check the transits, Isis is at 0 degrees, almost 29 degrees something of Taurus. And that's where Pleiades is. So the queen, the divine feminine from the Egypt, is directly connecting with the Pleiades energy, the Alcoin, the biggest star there, where I had my natal moon. And Osiris is in mid-Aries in opposition to Jupiter in Libra. And I spoke, and Linda was a little interested, was, I hope, a lot interested, I don't know, but you can speak for yourself, Linda. Graham Hancock, I spoke about last time, he has made a new video just out some weeks ago. And it's 7th of August it was published on YouTube. It's about archaeological evidence of advanced civilizations. And he is very good because he not only searches for evidence, he also makes spiritual connections in his interpretations about what has happened. So I highly recommend check Graham Hancock to see that this world is something else that you ever had imagined. I also want to take some time to shortly go through something that taught Mercury Hermes. And that's the 7 Hermetic Principles. And I will connect them with the Astrology chart also. The first principle is the principle of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. As within, so without. And this can be seen by the reality we live in. We live in a 3-dimensional holographic reality, now that many physicists believe in. And we also have an informational field behind this reality. And this is highly shown today to us by Uranus, the great planet of illumination, enlightenment, and lightening. Uranus is the quantum room, the ruler of Aquarius, and it's now transiting in late Aries. Has been at 28 degrees of Aries forever. And it's part of this big fire trine that also has gone forever. Easy flowing energy, trine energy, giving us so much if we take the steps. And it's Uranus in late Aries, and it's North Node, and all those planets now, Mars also there in late Leo, and it's Saturn, Black Moon Lilith, and Galactic Center in late Sagittarius. This has been an enormous energy flow, and if you are spinning, can be this energy changing It's really fire burning, a quantum rebirth. It's almost like Scorpio going on, even if it's not water. It's really burning down. And then when a great fire has been, new plants can come that hasn't been able to grow for thousands of years in this three-dimensional reality, in nature and in us. Uranus there is in late Aries. It's the quantum room and also the quantum I am. And the Aries then, we are making up our reality from within. It's the quantum computer, mind, heart, body. And mainly in this world, so far we have been in the mind. And it's a beautiful mind, as I say, but it's a tricky one also, because you can fool yourself. And as we have lived for 6,000 years in patriarchy, the false Capricorn, cutting off the cord with the Cancer, the emotional, suppressed, the Cancer, divine feminine, the home, suppressed, like Lilith, Venus, etc., going for domination of nature, not following the nature laws of Sagittarius. Since we are making up our own reality, it is a mind control system on Earth these last 8,000 years. It's an experiment. It's time to free us to see that we make up our own reality from within. And this is so deep, this is so profound, to start to learn, to believe, to apply in my life, in your life. I make up my own reality, and it's only my own. And if I change my thoughts and emotions and vibrations, I will mirror a totally new world. I started that work. I healed my right hip in a couple of days after 9 months of sickness, etc. It's possible to do enormous things if we have this belief to rise out of the ruling fear system. But it's required, as Mercury tells us now at Regulus in Leo, or even tells us even more in Virgo, the healing of our ideas, of our mind, our thoughts, to connect, to not have that cut here. Here's like this cut between Capricorn and Cancer is in our bodies, in our throat chakra, between our mind and heart and our emotions. We need to connect and be in ourselves, truly in ourselves, and trust in that. And it's not very difficult in one way, but it's such a big step for humans to do this. And Leo here speaks about the true person, the power we can take back to be on the stage, to be the royalties we are. We all are royalties. We all are supreme. We all are divine. And that's symbolized by quantum physics, because we make up the reality from our quantum computer. And there's infinite possibilities, but we break down them to see the world as we believe the world is, with all our stored emotions, stored fears, stored old patterns from this life, from old life, from the future, from other star systems. We make up it from within. But it's only in this third dimension that there is a linear time. When we ascend and come to the fifth dimension, there is no time. There is no linear, hard-working stuff. It's totally different, because in higher dimensions, fifth and above, past, present, future is now. And we can apply that here now on Earth, connecting heaven and earth, as I spoke about last time, the Gemini. And for me, my natal sun and moon connect this. It's the Capricorn Cancer axis also. To apply this here, now, on Earth. And it's an individual ascension now. Uranus in Aries, speaking about this individual ascension. The Atlantis was a collective ascension. And then we have Jupiter in Libra, relationships, quantum relationships. What's that? It's very open. We break down the quantum wave in the way we want it, in the way we see it, in the way we have been learned. But we need to get free of that, get freedom from the ruling fear vibration, get away from that, to be able to feel the love, the source, the heart opening of Leo. The not node in Leo are collective destiny right now. The heart chakra, Venus in there, change our idea of love. And this Jupiter in Libra speaks about the relationships we are making with others. But then, if we take, as I believe in, everything is made up from within, then what I see in my partner, that's a mirror of myself. So relationships with others, partners, work, etc., has to be totally transformed to be able to change my life, your life. And it's if you are very much annoyed about the world, I was until some years ago very much annoyed about the world. You can be, it's your choice. You can absolutely be. But remember that it's a mirror of yourself you see here. To change it, it's not possible to change it without. You have to go within. You have to make peace, to accept, to surrender in yourself. And then you can make up other relationships, as Jupiter speaks with here. In Libra, at fixed star Spica and Arcturus Spica, it's serene nature, very rare starseeds. Arcturus is very common starseeds, many crystal kills. It's millions of humans on Earth that comes from Arcturus. It's the raw model for Earth, together with Pleiades and Sirius, of course, the fixed star Sirius, our close nearest and perhaps most important. They are protecting us, but now it's time for us to free ourselves. And it's a shift, and it's a big shift. It's not only about astrology. I do this. I see it so much in the chart now. It's alive for me. And I hope I can transmit that opening to you. But you have your image, your view of the world. And what I tried to say, in a way, I don't want to change you in any way. You have to change yourself. That's so important. It's no leader, no savior can come and change you. And it's also important, if you are very annoyed with the situation or your partner or your friend or your work, check what is this mirroring. That is very important for your life. And we have this Saturn, the big reality check in Sagittarius, speaking about the spiritual truth. It's now at 21 degrees of Sagittarius. And Linda, perhaps we can bring up the chart for today. Yeah, thank you very much, Linda. There we see Saturn at 21 degrees of Sagittarius. And it's close to the galactic center. Galactic center, it's the big black hole in the center of the Milky Way. And it's at 26, 27 degrees of Sagittarius. And galactic center is transmitting an information code to Sirius. And Sirius is beaming it to our sun. And then it's the life force to us. There's also a mathematical code behind all of this. I won't go into that. I have just started to study that part. It's interesting, but I think astrology gives so much, so that's enough for me. So what I want to say is that Saturn went this winter, went up to 27 degrees of Sagittarius, then going back now to 21 degrees of Sagittarius, and now direct since a couple of days again, and will go over the galactic center, together with Black Moon Lilith, the divine feminine truth, revealing the old secrets. And Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. It's our three-dimensional reality. So, of course, it's extremely important if you don't want to fly away into the Pisces divine energies. You want to be here on Earth. Saturn is very important, as you know, the energies of our reality. But it's recoded. It's already changed. So our three-dimensional reality has been changed to a much softer new part. And it has been retrograde, and many planets still are retrograde, as Uranus, as Pluto today, bringing up old karma for us to take care of. And now it's possible to do that directly. It's not that old, long-lasting suffering. We are in the crystal time. We are in the direct now to change things. It's our perception, our mind-heart that can change it. If we believe, if we trust, if we surrender. And Saturn will again go over galactic center this autumn. And it's a huge, it happens every 28th year, and it's a huge chance that we now take to change our reality. And it's together with the Pluto transformation in Capricorn. And Capricorn really is a sign. Everything is changing now. We are changing as humans, as light beings, as energy. We understand much more. Many more people do. And get off this old hamster wheel, symbolized by Chiron in late Pisces here. And we need to redefine every planet, every sign, every house in this new time. And that's what we are doing in quantum astrology, together with you in evolutionary astrology. Everything is changing so quick, so fast right now. We have to find the 0 point, the transmutation, the balance that Hermes taught speaks about here in the mentalization, and also in the other principles here. That's 7 principles you can check in YouTube, for example. There I found one with only 2 minutes if you don't want to take more time. But take time for those principles. They are so good. So everything is changing. That's the evolution. That's the change. And as you know, the only constant in this world is the change. We have to flow with the change. And we have Moon there in Capricorn right now, and we have Pluto. And Capricorn is the magician, the power of alchemy in the world, in this three-dimensional world. And that's huge. That is happening. And you know, there will be some big conjunctions in late Capricorn the coming years here. There will also be a solar eclipse here where Pluto is now. And Pluto is at the fixed star Vega in Capricorn. I have my North Node there. That's my personal natal destination, my destiny. And there's also an interesting fixed star, the M Messier 57. It's a remnant, a rest of a supernova, the big blast explosion of a dying big star at 20 degrees of Capricorn. And that is said to be the origin of the first humans in the Milky Way, some 200,000 years ago. It's rather new humans in Milky Way. Andromeda is at Uranus, 28 degrees of, it's not Uranus, but the Andromeda galaxy is situated there, 28 degrees of Aries. So Andromeda is transmitting codes through the Uranus energy right now. And this 20 degrees of Capricorn is very interesting. The origin of the humans in Milky Way, but it's also the Pluto polarity south node in evolutionary astrology. Exactly 20 degrees of Capricorn. That's the origin. That's our solar origin in the Milky Way. And the north node of Pluto, the polarity is at 20 degrees of Cancer, and there's Castor, one of the twins in the Gemini alchemy. And I want to end with, before you can ask questions, with this Sun and Neptune opposition happening right now. Sun at 8 degrees of Virgo, the quantum biology, quantum healing, Virgo. We can heal ourselves, and since it's perception, Bruce Lipton speaks a lot about that one. We can heal ourselves with mental and emotional power. But we need to take our power back, and we need to really bring our emotions. It's not only thoughts, it's the total emotional, vibrational body that has to be in connection with the new, the free, the healthy person. But you can manage that as I did with my hip. You can manage in your way. But we now have this opposition here, this polarity between Pisces and Virgo, Sun opposing Neptune. And this speaks about how to find the balance between the source, between the spirit, between the dreams, the part that's not limited, the unlimited, the infinite possibilities, the divine energy. How to find the balance with that and our earthly life with the detailed Virgo not accepting any illusions. To find that 0 point, if you can find that in your life, you are very, very blessed. that 0 point is so important. The balance. And I have the great opportunity to have all my houses at 0.00 degrees, ascendant 0 degrees of Libra, MC 0 degrees of Cancer in my natal. So I have and bring a lot of 0 point energy, balanced energy, transmuting the Gemini alchemy. But it's in this world, it's a lot of silencing the mind. And it's a part of the Mercury taught also. It's the great trickster. It's fooling us. So when we can go through that, see through that dim, then things happens. But we need to break out of the fear vibration ruling this world with media and to silence the mind. Then we can use it in connection, the right and left brain, divine feminine, divine masculine. Venus and Mars is in Leo now, very powerful, and use it in our life together with others. So I also want to thank Virgo, the Virgin, the divine feminine energy, to land the Pisces energy on Earth. That's a tough work that we all do together. So if anyone wants to put up any questions, I'm open to that, Linda, or anyone else. Any questions? If there are not any questions, I can continue. It's no problem. If you note, I'm very passionate about this because I believe it's so important.
Yeah, Ivor, it's Linda. I'm just wondering about silencing the mind, which seems to be a huge problem at the moment. What I do is I just surrender and just let it melt away, you know, these thoughts which are obviously distorted. And are there any tools that you can offer?
Yeah, absolutely. I have meditated for regularly. It's very important to do it regularly in your way for 3 years. And meditation is, you usually sit or lay if you are hard to sit. But you can do it in any occasion when you are totally in yourself, if you understand, doing something you very much like, so you silence your mind in a walk meditation or something. And it's also a very good tip is to, if thoughts come, allow them, never stop them, because then if you stop them, you judge yourself. You understand? You make an interruption. Just observe them and let them pass. That's a very good tip for me, has been for me, and I've heard others also, to allow the thoughts to be there and let them pass. And with practice, you can also learn to observe. I continually, during this speech, even in my most passionate moment, I observe myself. And that's how we can make the emotional body in connection with the mind and the vibration. It's called samadhi or something in the Indian. Yeah, I hope I didn't, but you understand. It's an old knowledge here on Earth in other cultures, just to observe yourself also during your meditation. And of course, if you have problems silencing your mind, always go back to your breathing. And if tricky situations comes up, and it does in our lives, especially in these times, because this grand fire trine, all this energy are making people crazy that are not aware. So you can meet a lot of challenges, and then instead of going into the mind and react, take a deep breath. Take another deep breath and hold your breath a while and feel what is this. You understand?
Yes, Ivar, yes. With the thoughts being so disturbing, is it of value to get upset? Like get the emotions happening, get the emotions involved?
In one way, it's very important to free yourself from the judging, the shame, the guilt. I have done so much work with myself, with panache desai, the density, because it's stored emotions. And if you get angry easily, you have stored anger in yourself, and you have to let it be free. You understand? You can't have it stored in yourself. So it's important to allow your emotions, but you don't need to do it with other people. You need to have the conversations on a deep level with the friends and the lover or anyone that you really care about. But you can free yourself with the mirror or with screaming alone, etc., especially with your parents or something. It's important to realize that what is stored in you and not in others. It's important to see that the reactions you have when you are triggered are made up of your stored stuff inside.
Thank you, Ivar.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, should I finish off a little, or?
Any final questions from anybody?
Yeah. It's silence. It's a bit wonderful with silence.
Okay, well, we shall wind down then. So, Ivar, thank you very much. That was absolutely fascinating. Yeah. Really loved it. So I'll unmute everybody now to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ivar. That was fascinating.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me the chance to share it with you.
I need to replay it to be able to go more deeper, and then I might have questions, but it's just
you can always contact me via the Zoom Facebook group or Messenger or mail. Just contact me so we can, if you have any questions.
Thank you very much.
Or want any tip or something.
Okay, thank you so much, Ivar, and thanks everybody. Yeah. We'll see you again for part 3.
Yeah.
And goodbye for now.
Yeah, and good luck in your lives. Bye-bye.